everybody and welcome to Flamingle. So I am joined today by Miss Rianne, aka Ryan, who's in fact a hairstylist for Tony and Guy.
I'm actually Shannon's hairdresser.
Yes, he is. I need a cut though, it's so long now. So we're at the same street syndicate.
Yeah.
And I believe this is a venue that you do regularly perform in.
Yeah, it is. We're actually in the little mini dressing room. Not quite as fabulous as most people would think, but...
So this is the backstage of a drag queen's life. So you can see we've got mirrors. We've even got a false eyelash on this table right here.
Yeah, we've got sponges, nails, we've got spare type on the floor.
We had a little nose of the bid. We were like, oh, what can we find?
Fab.
It was a bit yuck. But there we go. That was the drag queen's life that we found out about today. So, as we have already mentioned, you are of course a drag queen. Yeah. So I was wondering, can you please explain to us what you most enjoy about drag?
Yeah, of course. So, what I tend to do, just in general really, is a big part of the drag queen's role is making people happy, being the life and soul of the party. What I love and enjoy the most is being able to express myself, being who I want to be, being able to kind of be a role model for younger LGBT youth as well. One of my favourite things is creating different looks, performing on stage. That's like, I crave that, you know, it's something that I love and have a passion for.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling when you do it as well.
Oh my god, absolutely. Like I coming off the stage, I mean, I still get a bit nervous anyway at the moment, but like even now, I come off the stage and the adrenaline's just like full on, like totally full on. But it's amazing.
It's just so exciting. You must just, it's just the enthusiasm and the joy you must get from doing it, as you said, obviously influencing and helping other people.
Oh my god, yeah. Like after I did a big show in Reading, beginning of December, called Fall to the Pussy Bows. It's one of my friends, Kazia Du. She hosts this event, and after I performed, I was headlining, and I had quite a few people who were in the crowd who I recognised messaged me on Instagram, and they're like, me and my friend are thinking of doing drag, and we want to know, like, do you have any tips or anything like that? And I was like, well, yeah, of course, absolutely. So I was just, it's nice when people...
It's all quite a welcoming atmosphere and everybody helps each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. And as you did say a little bit earlier, and also one of your favourite things is creating looks.
Yes.
And as we can see today, you have obviously come as Miss Rianne. So I was wondering if you could please talk us a bit through your style or what you kind of go for.
Yeah, absolutely. So Miss Rianne's style is, it's a bit mix and match really. So like, I'm very inspired by 90s supermodels, Linda Evangelista, Christine, Naomi, all them sorts of like anyone that's kind of like over 6 foot, long hair down to their bum, like just skinny, tall, like that's my inspiration, my drag aesthetic. You also find like a lot of the time in Drag Race, there's a queen called Naomi Smalls, and a lot of my looks, not a lot of them, but some of my looks and some of my aesthetic, that kind of is inspiration from her. But I would say, I don't know, it's hard to describe my style really.
Like you keep your beard, I can notice, while you're doing it. Do you do that all the time, or is this just, or is you're experimenting? I
experimented with it at first, but I've kind of got down Miss Rianne's signature kind of look now, where she's very much a very androgynistic queen. So I love the shock factor. I love people thinking in their heads, is that a man that looks like a woman, or is that a woman that looks like a man?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I will either keep a moustache or I will keep a beard, but I have a full glam. I'm not as glamorous today, but
He's got the train here and everything.
Yeah, came here in full day drag. But yeah, no, but then I also shave my whole face sometimes as well. But what I will do, I always keep my chest hair. So if I wear certain outfits, I'll always have that as more of like an androgynistic kind of feel.
So all incorporated, but mixed up a bit just to keep it a bit fresh.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nice, and obviously today you have lovely long pink hair. Surely having a background in hairstyling and that eye for design, does that help within drag?
It does. I've come to realise actually I'm more better styling human hair wigs than I am synthetic.
Oh.
But the good thing is I have my drag sister, Miss Blue Velvet. She is a wig queen, so she styles a lot of wigs. She's done a few of my wigs. So yeah, no, it does help when you want to be a bit more different with that kind of sense of doing different kind of hair looks, you know.
Well, that's all good that you can all help each other, and as you said, like your drag sister, you will help each other, and I guess you must learn different tips from the other people that you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you pick up so many different kind of things when you are meeting new people, making new friends. So it's nice. Like, I mean, I've improved loads on like keeping my makeup skills, putting my lashes on, putting on nails, sorting out like how to cut the lace off your wig properly. Like, you pick up loads of things, and when you start off as like a baby queen, it's almost like you don't really know too much. You kind of only just see what's on TV, what you're seeing on videos on Instagram, on social media, and then it's really down to like you then creating that kind of friendship circle, having the support of other queens there, and it's almost like a sisterhood almost.
That's so lovely,
yeah, it's great, and it's nice when, especially with some queens, they may not have had the best upbringing. They may not have had things like, I don't know, really close friends or just close to their family in general. So it's nice that when you do make these friends in the community and other drag queen friends, it's like their chosen family instead of like family that you're born with.
Exactly, your friends are your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, I think that relates to people in real life, and obviously in your drag circle as well. Sometimes your friends are the ones that you count on, and that obviously works well for you, and if you can all learn and explore with each other, then that's all good.
Yes.
And as you did mention earlier, so you saw, before you started doing drag, you obviously saw it on RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm sure maybe a lot of people watching also maybe only associate drag queens with TV shows such as that. How would you say drag in the real world may compare to the stuff you may see in the media? From your experiences, if you can.
It's hell of a lot different. It's very, very, very different. People who are not quite up to date, or not so up to date, but not informed about the drag world and things like that. Everyone just associates the drag in general with RuPaul's Drag Race. People have to understand drag has been around for years and years and years and years and years, way before Drag Race even became a thing. But I think a lot of people take their inspiration from Drag Race now, but what they have to realise is when you come into the real world and you're actually on the scene, you're meeting new people, there's so many different kinds of drag, so many different aspects of drag life. I mean, you have like bionic queens, you have bearded queens, you have camp queens, comedy queens, look queens, you have so many different types of like androgynistic, club kids, all that sort of stuff, and it's so different. And people just think, you know, you need to have the most beautiful lace front wigs, like unclockable human hair wigs. It's just assumed that you have to have a completely pinched like nose and it's contoured to death, and like I would say it's like Instagram queens. Like that's the label of what drag is supposed to be at the moment, and it's like
it looks good for the lens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in real life, it's a bit different.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's just, you know, I'm classed as a messy queen.
Okay.
So
what does that mean?
So it doesn't always mean a good thing, but I take pride in being a messy queen because I'm not a perfect drag queen. I'm not someone who is polished. My aesthetic in general is very mismatch, very androgynistic. It's taking things that are meant to be perfect and beautiful, or someone who looks at things and is like, you know, that's quite ugly, or that is meant to be associated with ugly things, but actually I try and find the beauty in all of it.
In everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why if you would see me on my Instagram page or anything like that, I don't really wear lashes unless I get made to.
Yeah.
I don't really wear nails unless I kind of feel like, you know, let's jazz it up a little bit. There's a lot of things that I don't do. I don't shave my legs, I don't shave my chest, and like, you know.
You do it your way to suit you,
it's my,
to make it right and comfortable for you.
Absolutely. It's my way, it's my drag, and if people don't like it, then...
It's not, as long as you like it and you appreciate it, then...
Absolutely, and people need to understand that everyone's different.
Exactly, and that's the important thing, and that's hopefully the message we're trying to share by discussing this here today.
Yes.
So yeah, it was very interesting, but I was wondering, why did you first start out in drag? Was it have you been doing it for a while, or how did you get into it?
So, with starting out in drag, so I've always done like makeup and stuff. So ever since I was quite young, I always did a lot of makeup and things like that. And I was always kind of in that kind of world. But what kind of made, so with drag in general, so I've been doing drag for nearly over 2 years now. I started off on one Halloween. Actually, I actually have my tattoo actually.
Here we go, let's see.
So that's my Miss Rianne tribute tattoo.
Here we go, so there's an eye, and then it says Rianne underneath, and then a date.
Yep, so the 30th of the 10th, 2016 was when I first started doing drag.
Wow.
It was the very first time I did Miss Rianne. So the backstory of the actual drag that I've created, so isn't actually what you might think. So before I started doing drag, I had a lot of mixed emotions, mixed feelings, and I wasn't too sure who I was as a person, where I wanted to be in life as a person, and I had a lot of feminine energy, feminine feelings, and I wasn't too quite sure what to do with it, how to come across it, how to even react to it, really. So at the time, I really would say that drag saved my life because I, at the time, was thinking, well, I thought I was trans.
Okay.
So I just immediately assumed, you know, clearly you're feeling a certain type of way, you know, you have these feelings that you can't quite describe inside you. You feel, and at the time it was like, you know, I felt weird because I didn't know what to do with these feelings. Was I trapped inside this body that I didn't want to be in? I wasn't too sure. And then I discovered drag, and I started practicing different makeup looks, and I started putting little bits and pieces together. Then I finally had the courage to go out on Halloween and do it. And it was probably the most liberating thing I could have ever done. It answered a lot of questions for me, emotionally, mentally. So yeah, no, it was a hard transition to kind of get my head around, but in the long run, that's why I say to people that drag did save my life, because I've had a friend in the past who was going through transitioning, and he's male to female, and he at the time was transitioning to a female, and he rushed into it very, very quickly. And what happened was he wasn't actually 100% sure, and realised in the long run it wasn't actually what he wanted, and he was already so far gone on his testosterone blockers and estrogen hormones. He had ruined his reproductive system, where he couldn't have children anymore and stuff like that, so it kind of ruined that whole aspect of it. And I just kind of thought, you know, that itself is crazy, and I didn't want to rush into anything or assume things before really knowing.
Yeah, it's a massive gamble if you're not 100%.
Oh god, absolutely.
But for you, drag was your way to find out what you were about.
Yeah, to kind of discover myself, who I was meant to be and who I am. And yeah, so I do thank a lot of my drag for that, absolutely, because it was rough. It was very rough.
But at least now you're able to come out, be who you are, be who you want to be, perform as Miss Rianne. Even today, you've got the train here as her, but yet you're so confident now within yourself as hopefully Ryan, who does your own thing.
Yeah, so I'm confident. I mean, everyone has their own issues and their own insecurities. Like Rianne has her insecurities. Ryan has his insecurities still, but as I've gotten older and as I've grown as a person, Ryan is a lot more confident. I'm a lot more confident in myself because of Rianne.
Yeah.
Rianne has given me that inner confidence to kind of think, you know, I really just I don't care about opinions, I don't care about people's views. As long as I'm happy and I'm progressing in the world, then
and the way you want to go and the way you want to be.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing. So as we are talking about progression and where you want to go, do you have any plans for what's next, or you're just going to see what happens within?
So I would like to see my drag career take off even more. I mean, I've already managed to do so many different things already in the space of a year.
Yeah, you said it. You were telling me earlier you performed in front of like 250 people. Massive.
It was so that was one of my biggest shows. That was a breakthrough night for myself and my confidence. But like also other things. So I've managed to do drag in different countries this year.
Really?
Well, last year, should I say? I've also in October I walked a runway show for my friend's collection during Fashion Week. In I would say maybe like half drag.
Okay.
I was the only guy that wore heels down the runway though, so
that's just a statement in itself, isn't it? So
absolutely, and that was a breakthrough for myself, and that got published. That got published on Sky International. That got documented by Vogue, and it was published in one of their magazines. Like, it was not a Vogue magazine, but a certain type of magazine that was filming on the day. And that was really amazing, really proud of myself doing that. I was just lucky that my friend asked me to be a part of it. And then I've been in contact, I've had certain a photographer messaging me on Instagram about doing photo shoots with me for their kind of like uni work, but also kind of building up my portfolio. So I've done numerous amounts of photo shoots this year as well. And I've managed to kind of like sort of experiment with different looks, and that's when I started doing like the whole kind of androgynous thing where keeping my chest and doing moustache looks and beard looks, but having full makeup done as well. So like the long run I would like to experiment and do a lot more modelling in drag. I want to kind of break through the stigma of it not being a major issue, whereas it's actually a beautiful thing. I would like to do a lot more runway shows. I'd like to go and walk for different designers on different fashion weeks.
Just take you in so many different directions.
Yeah,
I didn't even know until just talking to you just now the amount of different pathways that drag can take you, and it is a full-blown career.
Absolutely. I mean, if you get enough bookings, if you do enough things, you know, it slowly pays the bills.
Yeah, which is obviously that's if you get to do what you love and get paid for it, what could be better?
Absolutely, and like for me, if I could stop hairdressing altogether in a salon and do it just privately throughout the day, and then work full time as a drag queen in the evenings, that would be my perfect ideal life. That would be like perfection for myself. But I just have to kind of like
just got to work through the steps to get there. Like with anything, you just got to be persistent, and I'm sure you seem obviously extremely determined. You've achieved so much in only a year, in 2 years, did you say? So,
well, just this year, that happened,
That's crazy. So think about it, this time next year, you never know. Goodness knows. Well, as you did say earlier, when you did do that massive performance and people were messaging you off of Instagram and all different things asking for advice. So for anybody who may be watching, who may be interested in getting into drag, or even just someone who's interested in being a bit bolder with their look, what advice could you give them?
I would say that not to It's funny actually, because I wish I had someone that said the same thing to me when I started drag.
So now you can give this advice to
yeah,
somebody else.
absolutely.
Whatever you've learned, I'm sure someone would find it.
I would
valuable.
say look isn't everything. A look isn't always everything. I would say stay true to yourself and your aesthetic as a drag queen and a performer and an artist. I would say don't let social media brainwash you into thinking that drag has to be a certain way and drag has to look a certain way. It doesn't. It's however you perceive it, and it's however you want to deal with it, or how you want to do it. But other than that, I would just say have a really good time, enjoy it, and just have fun. You know, because that's just like the main thing. You're having fun and doing what you enjoy and making people happy.
And that's what brings it back to exactly what we were talking about at the beginning. You do it not only for your own happiness, but because it spreads happiness
Absolutely.
to other people. So as long as you can make it fun and you do what you're comfortable with doing, it's gonna be good all around.
Like me as a drag queen and as other drag queens, we have a responsibility in our community to be pioneers and lead the way really into a great and exciting time and life and enjoying things to the full aspects, I think, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it sounds very exciting. I obviously wish you the best of luck with wherever you're going next or whatever you're doing. But do you have anything upcoming, or where can people go and see you? Or
yeah, absolutely. So I've got my next show on Saturday the 9th. Saturday the 9th of February. The event is called Fall to the Pussy Bows. It's in Reading at a club called After Dark. It is gonna be. It's about 10:30 till 3 in the morning. Myself, I'll be performing there again. I'll be doing 4 separate numbers, and then I'll also be performing with my drag sister, Miss Blue Velvet. We'll also be performing together, so that'll be a very, very good. It's a very big LGBT event, a very big, good, really good club night. So that's going to be really exciting and really fun. I'm going to be I'm going to be doing a lot more shows throughout the upcoming spring and the summer as well. If you wanna follow me and keep up to date,
we're going to link it all to the video.
Instagram Ryginge, RYGINGE. And then so it's just slowly. I haven't got too much plans. But yeah, I've got a couple of shows upcoming, and then can kind of go from there really. But I'll be also planning a few more photo shoots this year as well.
Very exciting. Well, there we go. Was that on the 9th of February?
9th of February,
9th of February in Reading. Miss Rianne will be there along with all of her drag sister, Miss Blue Velvet, and the rest of your drag. Whoever else. There'll be a couple of others performing as well. So it sounds very exciting. So thank you so much for, of course, sharing your drag journey and for speaking so openly about your experiences within drag.
That's no problem.
No, thank you so much. And I think you obviously yourself as Ryan, and obviously finding Miss Rianne, you've truly learned to embrace your inner flamingo. So thank you, of course, for sharing that and talking to us about all of that. And then, of course, thank you to all of you for watching. So I hope you did enjoy my chat with Ryan / Miss Rianne right here. And of course, as we did say earlier, we're going to link all of your social media to this video so you can keep up to date.